get to your calls. It's going to be rest of you the rest of the hour. Here is Bill in Philly, and he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Bill, good afternoon. How are you today?
Good afternoon, Chris. How you doing today?
All right, William. Nice to talk. Let me hear now. Go ahead.
It's my pleasure. Hey, if you don't mind, first off, long-time listener from Philadelphia. I go back with you guys, Chris, the middle 80s when you and Mike started. I saw you guys do a remote during, I guess it was the 93 playoffs, Phillies against Atlanta down by the Philadelphia airport. So it's been a pleasure listening to you and back when you were teamed up with Mike, on these long rides home from anywhere from King of Prussia in the Bucks County, right outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was the World Series in '93 with the Blue Jays and the Phillies. Yeah, World Series. Yeah. We stayed at the Ron Jaworski Hotel, the Holiday Inn, right across from the old vet. We stayed there for a week. I remember. Yep, go ahead.
You got a great memory. Hey, I just wanted to weigh in a little bit on this Villanova, as far as the comparison against Villanova and the Eagles and some of the major sports.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear. I'm interested.
You had an earlier caller, Ken. And I'd have to disagree with him. I mean, listen, it's a big deal that, a Philadelphia-based team won even, a college basketball championship. But we're a professional sports town. And, I know you have a little bit of contacts down here, and it'll always be a Phillies, Sixers, Eagles town with the Flyers lagging a little bit behind. I went to LaSalle, and so I got a little bit of a feel for this. And if any college team down here, including Villanova and Drexel, were to win anything, the only team that would really grasp the heart of the city, it might be Temple. But Villanova, it's a nice story, but they're still considered a mainline school, and they're almost considered like one of the bigger programs that kind of detached itself from the Philadelphia sports scene when they went big time, after the '85 championship.
So, in other words, how far is Villanova's campus from downtown Philly?
It's about 6 miles.
Easy enough. All right. But if you had to say that there was a Philly team, you'd say it's Temple out of the 5 schools? The Big Five?
It's absolutely Temple, yeah. It's absolutely Temple.
Despite the fact they haven't been good, they haven't been really good. Duffy's a good coach, but, really good. They haven't been a threat.
Yeah, listen, there's no anti-Villanova sentiment, and the Philly fan does relate to the fact that they're a Philadelphia-based school, but it's not a crazy basketball town like it was back when all 5 teams were playing down at the Palestra, and you had the doubleheaders on Saturday. I mean, it's a nice sport for the hardcore college basketball fan, and like the only team I think that would really grab the Philadelphia by its heartstrings would be Temple.
All right, is it a big deal that Jay Wright is from Philly and he's an Eagle fan? Do people care about that?
No, he's and you know what? People know he's not really from Philadelphia. He's from Bucks County, which is, again, it's a Philadelphia suburb, but he's not, one of these guys that's, from one of the neighborhoods in Philadelphia. I think if he was like a Speedy Morris who used to coach LaSalle.
Oh, I know Speedy. Yep.
Sure, and Speedy had his roots back at Roman Catholic High School, and he coached the girls and the guys at LaSalle University. It might be a little bit more, but he's kind of a suburban guy that just doesn't carry the same weight.
Good job, Bill. Good call. Well done. You did a nice job there. You and Ken added something today. Here's Dave in Connecticut. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Dave, good afternoon.
Hey, Doggy. Hey.
Hello, David.
I just want to chime in with the WFAN. Now, I go back a history, too, listen to you guys back in 91. I tried giving the Three Musketeers a chance when Mike retired, and I just couldn't do it. I mean, not to blow smoke up your butt, but you're an entertainer. Not only, obviously, your knowledge with sports and all that, but just to give you a little background, since I live in Connecticut, I can't stand the Yankees. I can't stand the Giants. I'm a Boston fan, Red Sox through and through, Celtics, you name it. But I would listen to you guys discuss sports, obviously tailing around the Yankees. And it was great when our teams played against each other, and obviously if we won, it would be great radio the next day. But that's how entertaining it. And I drive countless miles, probably about 40,000 miles, so I'm always constantly listening to radio. And I came over to Sirius when Stern came over, and when I found out you're coming over, it's a home run. you are an entertainment icon. Even when you bust. Let's
not kiss my fanny now. We're here to do a sports show. I mean, and I appreciate the sentiment. Again, I don't wish anybody any ill. It's kind of what I've done forever. I always like to tweak people. Jeez, I tweak our staff. How many times did I kill Torrey, Cannell, Babchek, and Evan, the two little idiots in the morning? I mean, geez. I mean, Dino. I mean, that's what we do. We've been doing this forever. We always make fun of each other in a certain way. It seems like I hit a nerve with FAN, though. Seems like I hit a nerve, which was unintended, but it seems like I hit a nerve. Anyway, Yankees have started. It's hail. It's actually stopped raining, I think, a little bit. Maybe not that bad, but the Yankees there's about 5,000 people in the stadium, but the Yankees have started their home opener here today against Tampa. And here is Max in Memphis. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Max, welcome. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me? Max Drop, Don in Jersey. Donald, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have for me?
Hey, Dog. How you doing?
Fine, Don.
I'm a Villanova alum, and obviously I'm happy today, but I do have to say it makes me remember, and I don't know if you ever did anything on this at the time, the NCAA ruling on Villanova's big guy, Omari Spellman, last year, not letting him play. It was absolutely ridiculous ruling. To this day, I can't find anybody who can explain it to me.
So in other words, Spellman last year was on a team he was not allowed to play?
That's right. Based on some academic, he started a high school for 2 months, and then it was a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous rule. Jay Billis has talked about it. Other people have talked about it. When I reflect now back on it and realize that, maybe if he was on that team last year, who knows? They might actually been a three-peat team because he's that good. And it's really about the NCAA, and they certainly never would have ruled the way they did if it was North Carolina or Kentucky. I'm absolutely convinced of it. But did you ever do anything about that ruling?
No, Donnie, good call. I did not, and I wouldn't worry about that today. I mean, you won a championship. Spellman's going to be there another year or so. He's not coming out right now. I would not worry about it myself. I think you're okay. It seems like you've gotten over it pretty quick. And I do agree that the NCAA does seem to give the Dukes and the North Carolinas a little bit of a break and, a little harder. The old line is, the old Jerry Tarkanian line. The NCAA got mad at Kentucky and they put Cleveland State on probation. It is a classic line. They got mad at Kentucky, so they took it out on Cleveland State. But I don't know enough about the Spellman thing, to be honest with you. I tell you, he's a hell of a player, though. He can make threes. I tell you, he's got it going, that little Jay. Folks, if I could tell you, Jay Wright coaching at Hofstra, this is probably back now, literally about 15, 17 years ago. I mean, he's been at Notre Dame, Villanova 17 years. How old is Jay? He's about 60. He looks great. Jay's only 56. Are you sure about that? All right. So Jay went to Villanova when he was 39. So Jay was at Hofstra in, 98, 99, right around that period. And we knew, you saw Jay then. He's the same Jay. That's why Jay's a good guy. He's the same Jay. Same guy now that you see, the same guy at Hofstra. He's a great guy. He really is. Max in Memphis. And he came, remember, 2 years ago he came on after they won the championship and they beat Carolina. We were not able, but I had a different producer than I had Bill. Bill's away. Eddie can't get him. But for the most part, we can't seem to find Jay. We could get Jay on today. Maybe we still got a chance. But, the Carolina game, we had him on the day after, if you remember correctly. Max in Memphis. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Max, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, dog, I just want to talk a little Nova, but you're being way too kind to Boomer. That son of a bitch used to big-time you on that Friday Night Football show. You never played the game, all that noise. And now he wants to be Mr. Radio. Doggy, you and Mike sold out Radio City Music Hall in 10 minutes. Those guys play a softball game at Yankee Stadium. They say they're going to draw 30,000. There's 200 police wives in the stands. And listen, he calls you classless? Who does he defend? A goddamn convict in Carton. The guy he doesn't even say a word about Carton. So, Boomer, you can go stuff it, pal.
All right,
and
Max.
The whole station's going to hell. Doggy, you left Boardwalk, and you're coming back to Baltic Avenue with that station.
That's not Max, I love you. Thanks for the call. Boy, we got into this. One thing about Boomer, though, the famous story about Boomer, and I love Boomer, I really do, but the famous story about Boomer is that Mike and I were debating once about Jim Kelly in the Hall of Fame. And I never thought Kelly. He's been fighting health issues, so I shouldn't get into it now with Kelly because he's been a good guy, he's had a tough life. But bottom line is, we were debating him in the Hall of Fame, and I didn't think at the time, this probably was, I would say 15 years ago, I did not think that Kelly was a Hall of Famer. So we debated, took some calls. And it was funny, he was up for election. We used to think that Sims was, the whole 9 yards. And, I did a show with Boomer inside the huddle on Friday nights during the football season. I did the show. So we debated this, and lo and behold, it was either a day or two later. We did the show on Friday nights. We were at the Super Bowl. It was Hall of Fame debate, and Kelly was up for the Hall of Fame, so it was that week. We must have gone to the Super Bowl late. We got to the Super Bowl, and Boomer and I did our 2.5 hour or 2 hour show, whatever it was, on Friday nights. And lo and behold, Kelly comes on. All right? Kelly doesn't know Chris Russo if he fell on him. He don't know who I am. It's a local radio. Kelly's Buffalo, but he knows Boomer. Of course, they played against each other and everything else. And Kelly says, geez, this is the station. They had some guys on there yesterday getting on me about the Hall of Fame. And so Boomer, instead of protecting me, the first thing he says, yeah, it was the idiot right next to me right here was killing you. Thanks, Boom. And then it's Kelly, who for the next hour and 50 minutes gave me nothing but bad looks and was impossible to deal with. So there you go. So that's Boomer. Boomer is one of those, and I like Boomer, a good man, but Boomer is one of those guys, when he gets involved with the football player, when he's got his football buddies around him, he forgets that he's a radio guy now and he's got a radio partner there, and he can't big-time the radio partner by hanging out with the football player. And that's what Boomer does. Inadvertently, he doesn't do it on purpose, but that's what Boomer does. And he's a good man, Boomer, overall. He's had a rough life, too, cystic fibrosis, that great kid of his, but still, that bothered me. Anyway. Why you getting on and getting on the beaten path here? Do you remember that story, Eddie, about Kelly? Were you there then?
I was not there, but I've heard you tell it many a time.
Yeah, I told it properly. Dave in San Diego. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Dave, good afternoon. How are you today?
Doggy, how are you, buddy?
Hello, Dave. Nice to talk to you. What's happening now? What do you have for me?
All right, so a couple of things. I'm just going to preface it, but I'm a Michigan fan. I'm a big Baleen fan. I played for him at Lemoyne College in a summer camp in the late 80s. Unbelievable guy. I knew we had no shot. I mean, Villanova was just talented. We had a great run. I give them a lot of credit, but Nova team, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. They are a very physical team. I mean, Brunson could literally be called for an offensive foul every time he goes to the basket. They are sneaky physical, and they can shoot. So we had a great run. I'm okay with it. I thought the refereeing was a little touchy. I'm not going to blame it on that, but it was overall, I knew we didn't have a shot.
Not as good. You can't go, Dave, you can't go crazy. You're not as good as that team. Good call. I mean, Michigan was very fortunate with their draw. Sometimes a drawer opens up. They also got a break back on March 11th with the bracketing. Xavier was by far the weakest team in that bracket. By far. The weakest one seed. Not even close. An horrendous one seed. And they proved it by blowing a big lead against Florida State in the second round. And that bracket, and North Carolina wasn't as good. They're not a great team. Carolina off that championship. No Justin Jackson and people like that. And so as a result, Michigan, got a break too. Played Saturday. Texas A&M played in Charlotte on Sunday night. Had to go to the West Coast. I thought that was an advantage as well. Got some scenarios there. Big break for Michigan, and they took advantage of it. Rick in New Canaan, I had missed him at the coffee place today. Rick's always up at 6 o'clock, has a big fat bagel with a large cup of coffee, and he says hello. Rick, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Christopher, how are you?
All right, Ricky. What kind of bagel?
Good after staying up late last night to watch the game.
What kind of bagel do you have at Connecticut Muffin?
I get no bagel. Are you kidding me? I got to watch my slim figure.
Rick could pass as a big-time, and I mean athletic nose tackle. That's the point I'm trying to make. How is my pal? Things good today?
Things are great. Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk about Jay Wright, but when Michigan was up by 7, could you believe that Mo Wagner pulled himself out of the game because he was tired? How do you do that in a championship game?
Yeah, that was in the first half. He gave himself a blow. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, did he pull himself out? He was tired.
He waved himself out.
I don't know. Did he specifically wave himself out?
He even mentioned it. Referee mentioned it. He said it twice.
Needed a blow. Okay, good job.
He needed a blow. I could see that. In a mid-season game, and at the end, I don't know. But anyway, I didn't want to get off on that. But it just got to me. Even though I'm a Providence guy, I'm a huge Jay Wright fan. His teams are so well coached that they just don't get rattled, and they just adjust to the circumstances. I thought the toughest game they had in the tournament was West Virginia. They were really physical, and they pressed them the whole game. And you just watched the way that team broke the press.
And they wore West Virginia out, and it's usually the other way around. 100% right, Rick. 100%. They're just a better team. I mean, they were not going to lose last night. And listen, it's one game, you never know. But he's a hell of a coach. He'd be a good NBA coach too, you know.
He is, but he's in a great situation in the Big East. You got schools with similar ideals. He's got a great TV contract with Fox, so you get really good exposure. With the games, I mean, you can pretty much watch every game in the Big East on TV during a week. I know you only start watching in March, but you know, I like it. It's a good conference, competitive.
Well, you got Providence in there, Rick. Good call. So you got a little rooting interest in the way you go. Rick goes to that Andino restaurant there on Federal Hill in Providence every time he visits his alma mater. Here's Steve Torrey.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
You know, Steve, the Yankees, I understand they want to get opening day in, but could the Yankees have said, you know what, it's 37 degrees out, it's been raining for 2 days, maybe we give our fans a little break and not let them sit through a rain scenario here for the first game of the season? Is that possible?
Of course it is. It's just it's horrible out. And if they have, I mean, it looks like there's maybe about 10, 15,000 people there.
At the most, Stephen. At the most.
You know, you still have some people in the upper deck, but it's just, what a downer. It's just the worst.
Did the Yankees have to play today? It's Tampa. I mean, they have a game tomorrow. Did they have to play opening day today? You tell me.
No, I mean, look, if it were up to me, I would have said, let's pack it in. But, you know, that is 2 days. I don't know why they started so late today. Could they have? Well, I guess the window was, maybe they looked ahead in the window.
They probably looked at the weather forecast. Now, you know, it's going to serve the Yankees. Watch Judge. Is Stanton in the outfield today, or is he just the agent?
Yeah, he's playing left field.
Watch Stanton put. I mean, you sure you want to put him in this kind of weather today? I mean, do you want to do that in April 3rd? You want to put your guy who's making $260 million, his first ever game at Yankee Stadium, you want to stick him out in left field on a slick where they had 5 inches of snow yesterday? That's what you want to do? You sure you want to do that, Steve?
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. But, you know, I mean, this is the risk you run when you're playing these games in April and in cold weather climates. It could happen anywhere to anybody. So, you know, what am I going to do?
But the Yankees didn't have to play today. They got Tampa here. They come in 3 more times. Did the Yankees have to get this game in today? Could they play a little more seasonably tomorrow afternoon when it's going to be 60 degrees? Yeah, I'm asking you. You're a Yankee fan. I'm asking you.
Sure, of course they could have. But, you know, what the hell are you going to do? That's just the way it is.
Did I hit Villanova properly?
In recapping everything? Yes, I think you did.
You're the college basketball expert. Well,
look, here's what I'll say. I mean, I thought Michigan did a great job early in the game taking away what Villanova. I mean, Brunson wasn't much of a factor. They shut everybody down, and it still didn't matter because they have way too many options. And when you have a guy like DiVincenzo coming off the bench, who's the sixth man of the year, and can be explosive at times, and that's where you get hurt. I mean, they have way too many options. And, you know, I actually thought Michigan did a great job early. I mean, their starters combined for 17 points at halftime. That's not a lot of production after the way they shot the ball the other night.
What do you have, 18 points, DiVincenzo, at halftime?
Yeah, finished with 31.
Now, where do you want to put Jay Wright here? As far as greatness is concerned, is Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Izzo, Boeheim, and Self.
Right now he's got more national championships than Calipari, than Izzo, than Self, than Boeheim. So that to me says it all, doesn't it?
The guy, he hasn't been around as long, though. I mean, you know, longevity also counts, Steve. I mean, you know, Boeheim's been there for 30, 40 years.
True.
Self's been there for a long time.
But you know what?
And Calipari has taken
you know what he's done
teams.
You know what the record is in the last 5 years? They got 165 wins in the last 5. That's ridiculous. And hey, I mean, I know it took him a while, you know, and after he got to his first Final Four in 2009, they had a couple of lean years. 2 years later, they were under 500. But he's had as good a stretch as anybody that you've seen over a decent amount of time. I mean, a 5-year period where I know he struggled last year and they lost in the second round in Wisconsin, but
so you think he's the third best coach in college basketball?
Well, I mean, I put him in the top 5.
Yeah,
I think he's a better game man, big game X's and O's guys than Calipari is.
Yeah, I could see that. Everybody loves Self and what he does. So I mean, you know, and I don't know how to read Self. All the coaches love him. They think Kansas runs great stuff.
I mean, when you win multiple national, you know, it puts you in a different category. It does. I mean, I know Billy Donovan, you know, won back-to-back with basically the same group, so maybe it's a little different. But that's pretty damn good company right there.
Yeah,
it's hard to win these things. So you can be great. You got to win 6 games in a row in a one and done format. It's not easy. I mean, you see, I mentioned these great names who are Hall of Famers. I mean, Tom Izzo has 1 title.
Yeah, Jay's got the perfect. So he gets the next great player who's not a one and done.
And he knows how to develop them.
Well, he does not get the one and done player. He has the borderline NBA player, and they stay 3 years. That's a big advantage.
Well, right. I mean, they come in as non-NBA players, but now they're starting to leave as maybe guys who can make some contributions at the next level. There haven't been many.
He hasn't. He doesn't really, outside of Kyle Lowry. He does not really have any NBA guys on his. He's got no NBA. Josh Hart with the Lakers.
Yeah, Hart, and
he doesn't play.
You have a few, but you're right. You're right. As far as making a big impact outside of Lowry, there aren't any. But
there's nobody. That's the only guy he's got.
But that could change. I mean, this group here, I think they're going to have a couple of decent pros.
Well, I think Bridges will be a great pro. I don't know about the other ones. I think Bridges will be. You
don't think
pro.
Brunson?
No, absolutely not. Too small, and he's not quick enough. I think he might make a team, but I mean, you're talking about a legitimate pro. No, I can't. I'm not giving you that one. I mean, Pascal's not big enough. Spellman's dangerous because he's big and he can make threes. So he's dangerous. DiVincenzo, I don't know about. I don't think so. But I do think that I think Bridges is a great pro.
Yeah, I think you're going to start to see them improve in that category, with making a little more of an impact at the next level.
Well, I think there's only 2 pros on the court last night who are going to be good players: Wagner and Bridges. There's only 2 NBA guys. That's what I saw myself, my eyes. Now, I might be wrong. I know that you're one of those. I mean, you found Jimmy Fredette for us, Doug McDermott.
We can go back and forth. I mean, I think you told me James Harden would never. That guy's an absolute will not make anything because he faced Jim Boeheim's zone in the NCAA tournament and was terrible, and you had him basically being nothing. And I think you were wrong with that one. Is that fair to say?
Is Fredette? Is he in Glen Falls? Where's Fredette? You had him in the NBA as a 2-time as an MVP.
Yeah, an MVP.
And boy, did you love McDermott? Oh my God, did you love Doug McDermott? Oh my God, Doug McDermott.
You still haven't answered the question about.
Yeah, you're right. I got Harden wrong.
All right. So you got one wrong, and maybe I got one wrong. So we even?
Well, quickly, what's going on? Who in Royal?
Kansas City with win number 1 on the year, 1-0.
All right. The NBA we know about. There's some important games tonight. What else you got? The Tiger tee time. What's the tee time here?
Tiger will tee off at 10:42 Eastern.
Who's he playing with?
Leishman and Tommy Fleetwood.
All right.
Sergio Garcia, Justin Thomas at 10:53. Bubba Watson, Jason Day, and Stenson at 11:04.
Well, that's a good group.
Mickelson at 127.
Who's Mickelson playing with?
I got to look it up. But Spieth at 149. Dustin Johnson at 2.
All right, so Dustin goes last.
Yeah, he's in the last
Thursday.
Group. Yep.
So Friday he'll go first, theoretically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm into it. I actually am. And Freddie's coming on with you. That should be good. He played with Tiger today. That's outstanding.
Very good. Now, we need to do a little coursework. You ready to go? She want me to go through the holes with you?
No, I think I've got it covered. By the way, Villanova, they're returning to campus at some point within the next hour. So I don't know if you're gonna get Jay today, but they're gonna have a parade on Thursday in downtown Philadelphia.
5:30 to 6 would work well. Let's see.
Yeah, well, you got him last year. I mean, the window we gave him was from our show as well. I wasn't anticipating that Jay would come on with us today, but
right.
Maybe tomorrow.
What was the rating for the game last night?
I don't know. I'm sure it stunk. I mean, how could it have been good? First of all, it was on TBS. Second of all, by the first TV timeout in the second half, game was over. Eddie's got it.
Lowest rated tournament game ever.
Yeah, not surprised.
Lowest rated finals game.
Finals. I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Yes, Scott. Yes, because that wasn't the context of what we were speaking about.
Boy, Eddie Erickson.
Yeah, I know.
Tournament game. I would think it did worse than a 116 game. So a tournament game.
Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
The worst final game of all time.
It had 10.3 overnight. I know you need the numbers. The previous low for a championship game was 11-2.
And what game was that?
04.
Wow, Steven.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. So you're surprised?
So about 14, 15 million people watched this game. Wow. It did barely better than an All-Star game.
I mean, I would think I even think that they lost some viewers right at halftime because even though it was.
Well, they start the game too late. 9:20 is way too late. They can't start the game at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay. I don't disagree.
9:20, they tip 9:20. That's
if you're going to stick around to watch any post game, you're going to bed 12:30, 1 o'clock.
I just went to bed as soon as Shining Moment was done. I went to bed. Did you stay for Beeline?
I did. Yeah.
I'm sure he was good, right?
He was good, very, very good with Tracy.
Yeah, he was.
He's a good guy.
Oh, he's a good guy.
I hope he gets another chance. You feel bad.
Yeah, 2 times for him. All right, so 10. That's the lowest. As thought, Steve. Lowest.
And it was the barely even the highest rated game of the entire tournament. To your point earlier about making fun of me.
What was it? Kansas and Duke. The highest.
You got it.
So it did worse than Kansas Duke. Wow. Well, Kansas Duke was on a Sunday afternoon. It was before Stormy. And it was Sunday afternoon on CBS.
Yeah, this was on TBS, so that's a problem.
Yeah, Stormy was on there, and so everybody pumped up by Stormy, and so as a result,
how many times can he say Stormy?
Yeah, I love you, Steve. You see you short. Let's do a sports bite. We come back here on Mad Dog.